This is Arukh Shulchan Yeridea, Siman Aleph, Sif Aleph Tavav. It is day one of the supplemental cycle of the Arukh Shulchan Yomi, the cycle which takes us to the rest of Arukh Shulchan in 3,400 some odd days. On the schedule as is printed as I am beginning this for February 11th, 2025, 13 Shvat, Tafshin Pei. There is a typo that there begins in Sif with Sif Dalid. That was based on a mistake that, because in Eben Ezer we did in the regular Aruch HaShulchan cycle, Eben Ezer Aleph to Gimel as part of the regular cycle, but we did not do any Yoreh there. So tonight we're going to do a little bit extra, 2 days worth, because we're going to do Yoreh there, not Dalet to Vav as it says in the schedule, but Aleph to Vav. So Aleph, Shchita he mitzvah save in a chiyuvis. Shchita is a mitzvah say, but it's not a mandatory one. Because shofar v'sukkah v'lulav, like shofar and sukkah v'lulav, the eno rotz elecho basar, but don't want to eat meat. Eno love chiyuv l'shchot. You have no requirement to shecht. As korotz elecho basar, anybody who wants to eat meat, mitzvah say she shchot. It's mitzvah say to shecht v'chachach yochal, and then he should eat. You should slaughter from your cattle and sheep as I command you. Also a non-domesticated animal, which is a kosher one, obviously. It says with Bechor Ba'amum, it says by Bechor, who is a Ba'amum, that it is like you eat the deer and the mountain goat. So you just like you have to shecht the Bechor Ba'amum, you also have to shecht the Tzvi Nayo. So in the Rambam and the Smag. A bird, it's a big machlokes in the world, whether shchitas daraisa rabbana, or shulchan paskins like the opinion that's daraisa. See kasher yatzu tzeit chaya of, as you hunt the hunt of a chaya or an oaf. Shavachas damo, you have to spill its blood. Now shvichas dam of, shvichas dam chaya. So it teaches us that the shvichas adam, the spilling of the blood, which of course we learn about, is required by a bird, the same as it is by a chaya. V'tani bar kapar zos to asa beima v'o, that's the sifri. V'tani bar kapar zos to asa beima v'o v'chol nefesh chayar messes b'mayim. This is the law of the animal and the bird for all the nefesh chayar, all living creatures which swim in the sea. The Torah made put the bird between the animal and the fish. So since put between the bird, the animal and the fish, you can't require a bird to be shackled with two simanim like a animal. In other words, a trachea and esophagus. But on the other hand, because it's linked to fish. The dog in Basiva fish just have to be collected, they don't have to be slaughtered. And they're not required to be shechted. It's called that's safe for him. All the birds of the all the fish of the sea will be gathered to them. But to exempt without anything, that also not possible. Because it's linked to an animal. Okay, so how do we reconcile? It's like shnei ksuvim b'gin ke'echad and no kas v'shlishi v'achriya b'neihem, right? Because there's a contradiction between the hekesh to animal and the hekesh to a fish. So it was by saying you don't need either the trachea or the esophagus, not both, in order for shechita to be kosher by a bird. It's going down Chav Zayin. It says here in the brackets, Zayin Kes Mishnah, Lechem Mishnah. Beis Kol Yeshchita, all the Shechita Nemel Moshe Rabbeinu Me'abal Peh. We give it to Moshe Rabbeinu verbally. B'Sinai, Kol Teresh Babel, like any other Teresh Babel. Yichsiv, V'zavachta Mi B'Kol Chol Mitzonecha. It says you should slaughter from your cattle, from your sheep, Kashetzi, V'Sicha, as I command you. Mitzvah, Teresh Bapeh. The mitzvah refers to Teresh Bapeh. It's from the Rambam. Tiny Rabbi Omer, Rabbi says, you should slaughter as I command you. Moses commanded on the esophagus, on the trachea of Arov, and the majority of one of those two by a bird. For the majority of both of them by an animal. There's an allusion to this. Evidently, there's some traces in the word kasher. Aleph hu echad ba'of. The aleph is the one simon required by a bird. Vashin hu shnayin, two. V'behemoth, two by an animal. Vareish rubo shel echad. The majority of a simon is as if the entire simon is shechted. Kasher l'mafreya b'roshei tevos. And with if you take kasher backward in Rosh Tevos, in other words, Resh, Shin, Aleph, Kaf, Vav, no, without the Vav, sorry, kasher, Resh, Shin, Aleph, Kaf, backwards, it's Rubo, Resh, Shel, Shin, Echad, 1, Kamo. The majority of a simon is as if it's the entire simon. Every Jew is believed to say that shchita has occurred. Every individual is believed by the Torah. You should slaughter me from your sheep and from your cattle and sheep. And also it says he should slaughter the animal by kochim. Achli kohanim yodo, and the kohanim would eat by this individual shchita. Torah does not require two witnesses to testify about this. So it's Torah edim el onish moment, because the Torah only requires witnesses for a monetary penalty, and says based in for capital punishment, ularayas, and for matters which have to do with relationships, intimate relationships. They mean davar moment because we learn out of derivation. Xer Shava says davar by arayas, davar by moment. We learn from the other. It's Rashi and Daf Yud in Chulin. The Eid Echad Nami B'Surim. So this is the principle that one witness is believed in matters of Isser V'Hetzer, matters of prohibited substances and permitted substances. That's the Rambam. Even though where something is assumed to be also, one witness is not suffice to remove it from the assumption. And the animal that's alive has an assumption of prohibition. That's something which you do not have the capacity to rectify. But the same which have the capacity to rectify them when you're believed even against a cheskas isser. It's what Yavamis. And here a person has capacity to shecht, or to ask somebody to shecht. And every person is believed on that which he has control over. Even if there's an assumption of prohibition, on this account, because the capacity to remove it from the cheskas isser. It's a Russian Gittin. The times that Amru Chazal Sham Inyan Tevel. Chazal mentions explicitly in terms of Tevel, in terms of tithing. Shenam and Lomar Shivishim said Chumusumaisis. Person is believed to say he set aside Chumusumaisis from Neshibot Lafresh because he has the capacity to set them aside. That Amnam Lefiza, according to this Shebhema of Eno Shalo, if the animal bird is not his, he says he shech them with the awareness of the owner. But the owner is not in front of us. She shall name that we should ask them. How is the Eidechad believed? It's not considered to be in his hands. Because it's not his. Chazal says explicitly with Tevel that you have to have the agency of the owner. It's not believed if he did not have some jurisdiction over the animal. It seems more likely since the person did not mention such a distinction. Even this scenario, the shochet is believed. But time reasons came to ish kosher, since he's a person who is assumed to be himself a kosher person. He's not suspect on theft or robbery. If we were to say that he slaughtered without the awareness and presumably the permission of the owner, would be a robber. But we assume that he himself is a kosher person. It must be that he slaughtered with the awareness of the owner. It's not like untithed produce. God is not believing that's such a situation. The betevel by the produce, even if he did it without the awareness of the owner, lo have sido klum. He didn't cause him a loss. Beno gazan, he's not a robber. We'll say, no, what's the word? What's it saying? No harm, no foul. Something like that. But shchita, it's irreversible. It's not like Tevel, where it means produce after you set aside the chuvas and mitzvahs. So he slaughtered without the awareness and the sanction of the owner. He's an absolute robber. So therefore, we have to assume he's kosher, and that and therefore he is believed to us to say that he shechted b'kashrus. In brackets it says, perhaps is what the Mordechai means, when he said at the beginning of Chulin name Ramimetz, that which a solitary witness is not believed to remove something from Cheskes Sister, Zeo Dafka Berekim Upochzim. It's only by empty people, frivolous people, but lo b'kshem, not by kosher people. It says it's astonishing, which because Bima Gadim Psicha Ayin Shom. Like Bima Gadim writes, according to what we said, he means what we're saying. If it is yours, even a Reika Poches could be believed. But if it's not yours and you Reika Poches, we can't believe you. The owner is not here to tell us he gave permission. Viduk. Hey, B'yeshu says Shalom. So, very important question. And the came since the primary permissibility by one witness is by shchita is because it's in his hand to rectify it. So how is a person who's not himself a shochet believed laid even his own animal that was slaughtered because he has the capacity to quest a expert shochet to slaughter it. Name him this doctor shochet. Let's say who says a shochet will acquiesce and come to his rescue. In terms of looking at blemish in Bechor to determine that the Bechor should be committed. Maybe this doctor who says the Chacham is going to come and take a look. According to this, if a butcher says on his own animal, that is slaughtered, we should not believe him. As heard from the Shochet, who slaughtered it. Okay, maybe there's a Shochet who's in charge of the Shechita. No one will say, we'll say that the Shochet must have shechted properly. He did what's incumbent upon him. The Naaman Akatzav, and then the butcher is believed to say, well, I took it from that shochet, and he is credible. But in a village where there is no shochet in charge, and the Babai says, well, I brought a shochet from the city, and he slaughtered it. Or I brought it to a shochet. Why is he believed? It's not considered to be in his hands. So I have to say, the came at the since there are shochtim in the world. And they shecht for pay. But shochtim, then they do shecht. It's called biyada. Shochet. Always a shochet, they'll be hired. In the bracket it says here, what about a chacham coming to see a mum by Bechor? Why there do we not say it's biyada? There's different. She also told mizeh schar. Now we have to charge money. So therefore it's not going to be other because you can't necessarily hire him. But the Mirashi Shah V'Shabbos Shah Mashim V'Shum the Yontif Lo Yotzei Chom Nizdakik. It says that a Yontif the Klachim is not going to want to come. According to this, we'll come out a very big chiddush and Yontif. On Yontif, on a weekday, it would only be a problem with Yontif. A week, you would say, okay, he'll come. We wouldn't say Miyam Mizdaki. We wouldn't say who says he's going to come see. I show Tesis Duk, came for Tesis Reish Gittin, the Masachad, Zem Mikra Biyado, that's called Biyado, the fact that you can hire a person to do something. Vav Kasaram Perkim Mishchita. The Ram writes, Kol Tabak Shiudeh at Trefas Elu, any slaughter who knows the halachas of Trefas, V'Becheskas Kashrus, and he is assumed to be a kosher person, Mutter Lishchot, he gets the slaughter of leave Dok Latzmo to check the Trefas himself. According to sell, there's no concern because one witness is believed in matters of prohibited substances. Do so whether he has benefit in his testimony, then or he has no benefit. For but continues the Rambam. Ray explained, don't purchase meat from a slaughterer who shechts and checks for himself in the Chutzlaretz and Eretz Yisrael in our day and age, unless he's an expert. L'chein kasab perek chesed ma'achos asus din zayin b'zel shono. Ve'ein lochim. This is what I writes. Also called ein lochim basar mikol tabach. You don't take meat from any butcher, from any slaughter. Elim adam kosher, unless he's a kosher person. Umuchsak v'kashus. And he's assumed to be kosher. Who sheshochi latzmo? He is the one who is slaughters for himself, and mocher v'neman, and he is sells and is trusted. I'm not sure, but he doesn't say the word mumcha there. I'm not sure why he says the same thing. It doesn't flow in the mumcha word. With Shas in the Shas this halachah not to be found. Rakaram Dima Zel Mash Amar Perak in my meeting he draws an analogy that which says Perak in my meeting Ein Lochim Yain B'Chuli B'Suri Elam Min Mumche. Only by wine from an expert. Kosh can bust only meat. If first came to Syria Ein Lochim Min Mumche. If the Syria can't take except for an expert, Kav Chomer B'Chutzarts or Yisab is Manazeh. Evidently back then Syria was on a higher madrega in Syria than Chutzarts and Eretz in our day and age. So in our day and age, Chutzarts and Eretz came in Shein Sanhedrin, She'eshgichu, since there's no Sanhedrin who's in charge, Tina Chutzarts. Eretz Yisrael has also the status of Chutzarts. So my data Mashlocha Shavashas Basar. Why did Shas mention wine and not meat? Kavachomer and Misharid Varim Shachashav Shams Kavachomer. There are other things, including wine. You need to have a mumcha, certainly basar. Okay, and that is it for today.